After locating 3 large ovens containing human remains at a former CJNG training center in Teochitlan, Jalisco, authorities found 200 pairs of shoes, 400 items of clothing, a suitcase at the ranch, and suitcases at the ranch. The Guerreros Buscadores de Jalisco collective reported that at least 200 people may have been victims there. The Izaguirre Ranch in Tuchitlan. Just 6 months ago, a training camp was still operating here, but it was raided and dismantled on September 18, 2024. So only 2024. This ain't some 10-year ago shit. Just 6 months ago, a training camp was still operating here. It was raided and dismantled September 18, 2024. That shit is crazy. It is a fairly large property. If you remember, at that time, there were 10 detainees and 2 rescued. A search was carried out in certain parts of the ranch. Imagine being those two, the last 2 guys that's about to go in the oven and get turned into gingerbread, man. And the raid come and rescue your ass, huh? If you didn't think the sun shined on a dog ass at least once a day, after that, I don't know what to tell you. It is a fairly large property. If you remember, at the time, there were 10 detainees and 2 rescued. A search was carried out in certain parts of the ranch and remains were found. But the entire ranch could not be processed because it is quite a few hectares, stated Salvador Gonzalez de los Santos, the state's attorney general of Jalisco. Authorities supposedly also searched the ranch during that time. The prosecutor also pointed out that at the time, Luis Joaquin Mendez was in charge of the Jalisco prosecutor's office, in addition to mentioning that the search group was informed of the location of the remains in the CJNG extermination camp. Look at that ugly shit. Crazy. But authorities also raided the ranch in 2019. That is around 10 hectares or 25 acres large. So they raided it twice. Well, y'all didn't find the deep fryer earlier? In 2019 and in 2024, y'all wilding the fuck out. The ranch is located about 3 miles from Tuchitlan, a town just over an hour from Guadalajara. Between a dirt road and agriculture plots lies the property where 3 clandestine crematoriums were found. Remains and bone fragments severely dead. Listen, at this point, this is not rug trafficking. At that point, it's an attempt. Mexico's very big, but it's an attempt at ethnic cleansing at that point of your own. At that point where you have to have ovens and crematoriums, secret ones, clandestine ones. At that point, this ain't about money no more. You're not making more money per body. I mean, in some senses, yeah, if you're the button man, but this is just, sociopath shit. This is just madness. This is not the game. This is not gangster. They needed, boy, they murked so many people they need a crematorium. Well, what the f*** was murking all them people for? For what? How many women and children ended up in there? How many people ended up in there that had nothing to do with nothing? Pedro went to work one day and ended up in a crematorium. The fuck are we talking about here? Yo, man, motherfuckers out there celebrating and riding some real goofy shit, and don't have no explanation as to why. What are we talking about? Would you consider it terrorism? I mean, can you consider it terrorism amongst your own? If you can, yeah. That sounds like the definition of terrorism. When the people are in terror of ending up in a crematorium. How many bodies you dropping for you to need 3 clandestine crematoriums? That's one site. One rancho. Imagínate how far that goes. You just sound like a lunatic that came into power. Not somebody that's smart or that wants money or that wants... No, you just want to watch it burn. Between a dirt road and the agricultural plots lies the property where the 3 clandestine crematoriums were found. Remains and bone fragments severely damaged by cremation have been found here. Gunshot holes remain visible on the walls of the ranch. This is the first crematorium This is the second, and over there is the third crematorium. This is what has been removed. These are burned human bones. Look, they started searching and digging and found these remains that probably belong to a relative who is being searched for. Probably shit. It's a likely chance that you got cooked up. The ovens were apparently hidden under a layer of dirt and a brick slab, which partly prevented their detection during the September 2024 raid. So these Mamabichos went and raided a spot in 2024 and missed it. They missed the three crematoriums. The surroundings become even darker when an altar was found with images of Santa Muerte surrounded by half-burnt candles. There you go, man. Miss me with the shit. Oh, no, it's good. It's spiritual. Miss me with the bullshit. Miss me with the shit, bro. Crematoriums. That you ethnic cleansing, bro. Just pure evil. Let's stop making an excuse for it and call yourself what you are. All you people at home that like to put on the jersey, it's my culture. A la verga. That's not your culture, motherfucker. That's not your culture. All right? So just, if you're going to call a spade, call yourself that you into some evil. Because if you need a crematorium to get rid of the bodies, you into some fucking evil. Stop fooling yourself. Just call a spade. The fuck are we talking about? Everybody making excuses for themselves. The surroundings become even darker when an altar was found with images of Santa Muerte surrounded by half-burned candles. Evidence collected at the site would indicate that this ranch would have served to train people who were victims of forced recruitment. So they snatch you up, you either work for them or you go in the air fryer. Period. Weapons, tactical vests, large tires, and logs were found used for strength training. There was programming in there. Base of operation, base of training. CJNG training camp. According to Indira Navarro, a representative of the Guerreros Buscadores de Jalisco collective, the ranch was called the Little School of Terror. So I would say that, that if they're calling themselves, the Little School of Terror, I think terrorism is the right word. A center where new arrivals were forced to fight each other as a part of the process, divided into 3 phases of training. It's basically Squid Game. They brought them to Squid Game to make them soldiers. According to Navarro, they made them fight each other to see who was stronger. Many could not stand the training. Some were unalive for simply complaining. Others fell from exhaustion. We had to dig holes, pits. We put up beds of stone or bricks. We poured gasoline on them, whatever we could to make it ignite. We used it once, twice, 3 times and covered it up, he said, referencing survivor testimony. The Izaguirre Ranch was only the beginning of the training process, which was followed by other stages. Those who got away were sent as hitmen to Zacatecas or Michoacán. The last phase, it has been reported, consisted of more advanced training by former Colombian soldiers and or elite elements known as caiviles from the Guatemalan army. That ranch was just kindergarten. If you graduated, they sent you to the battlefield like cannon fodder, said one of the survivors quoted by Navarro. These statements reinforced the hypothesis that the place operated for at least 3 years as an active site. There were more than 200 of us, the young man reportedly said, describing the number of people recruited at the site. It's just crazy, dog. 2024 raid. On September 18, 2024, the GN raided the camp and arrested 10 people. Not a single shot was fired, and 2 victims being held there, one already unalived, and one was tied up, and one who was tied up was rescued. But I thought you rescued 2 people. Y'all be wild. Narcotics and weapons were also found. The National Guard detailed that the search of the site was conducted after receiving reports of loved ones at a ranch located in the community of La Estanzuela. The officers arrived at the site and heard gunshots coming from inside, prompting an operation. There was no need for the security forces to use their weapons, even though the detainees were carrying their own. The agents found 4 assault rifles, a pair of handguns, and 21 magazines. That's it? In a training facility that had ovens, crematoriums in them and shit. The agents found 4 assault rifles, a pair of handguns, 21 mags, and a hand grenade. 5 tactical vests, 4 vehicles, and a dozen ballistic plates. It's worth noting that Espinosa Licon also said that the location where the 10 individuals were detained was set up for recruitment and training. The facility was completely structured to train, recruit, and train people. Not only do you people say the same shit in all the paragraphs, but in the same fucking sentence too. Completely structured to train, recruit, and train people. What the? It is not credible that it was not known to the authorities of Jalisco, said Alejandro Gertz Manero, head of the FGR, about the Chitlan ranch of the CJNG used as a clandestine crematorium. While the ranch is being reported as a training camp, many clothing items found belonging to women. Come on, man. That's terrorism, bro. This is some ethnic cleansing shit. You're terrorizing your own people. You're forcing them to be soldiers. Who the Which one of you dickheads that goes and works a regular job every day wants to come home and raise your hand to that fucking guy that's out there whipping women out of their clothes and throwing them in a crematorium? Get the fuck out of here, man. Victims' belongings and stories. The photos from the CJNG extermination camp include shoes, as well as letters and personal items, as well as hundreds of bone and dental remains and gunshot casings, all found by a group of searching mothers. I'm sure there was a lot of melted lead at the bottom of that crematorium too, right? Putting bullets in people. That's disgusting. All found by the group of searching mothers. The photos from the CJNG extermination camp include shoes, as well as letters and personal items, as well as hundreds of bone and dental remains and gunshot casings, all found by groups of searching mothers. All you motherfuckers out there with kids who be blowing these Cartel motherfuckers all the time, you know what I'm saying? Shame on you. Your children should free themselves of you. You dangerous. That kind of karma come back on not you, your family sometimes. You know? Out of here. Why force someone to join where you can find all sorts of volunteers in the comments of videos on YouTube cheerleading for these groups? I just think it's crazy that some people cheer for these motherfuckers. Like, that's gangster. That's not gangster, bro. You pussy. You go and you find your baby's keychain in there. You know the fate of the people that was in that place, huh? You go in here, you find the dunks that you bought your kid for Christmas. It's heartbreaking. Look, there's the dunk right there. Find the dunk that you bought your kid for Christmas. Find the Spizikes that you bought your kids for Christmas. Huh? The ones. It's fucking sad. The luggage. Disgusting. These punks. They ain't gangsters. And you pussy. Look, lists. This is a list of all of the things. Boxers, blouses, vests. Mi amor, si algún día ya no regreso, solo te pido que recuerdas lo mucho que te amo. Y digas, se me fue mi enojo. Berrichón y celoso. Look at this guy. What this guy do, huh? 20 years old. Look, she looking for her kid, and he in some clandestine fucking crematorium. Shit's crazy. These guys. If they being shy, you the police, you a snitch, this, and that. Why? Because I don't like sociopaths? Hey, man, if you want to sell dope, bro. Suffer them consequences. Shut the fuck up when the shit goes down. It was a decision you made. Salute to all my people that's getting it however they can get it. If you ain't hurting innocent people and babies and old people, if you handling your business within the confines of the business, cool. You push past that, fuck you. It's just how it feels. These guys throw on cartel jerseys and chill like they part of the team. They don't get shit. And guess what? You end up in the bottom of that fucking box too. But you pussy, you ain't never gonna get close to that. You just gonna celebrate from afar and lead everybody else in your family astray. You gonna make your little cousin go to Mexico and join. Cause he saw your pussy ass nut hugging. Next thing you know, he's around 400 pairs of shoes, mountains of clothing, and even suitcases belonging to the possible victims were listed by Jalisco authorities. Nah, man, these people are under siege, man. Details of letters and other items have begun to help not only track victims' identities, but date the years of operation of the ranch. Like a love letter allegedly written by Eduardo Lerma Nieto, a 20-year-old young man who disappeared in February 2024 in San Juan de los Lagos. Minding his business, they go force the kid to be a soldier. You go, you take a nerd kid, a happy kid, a smiling kid from the block, don't know nothing about nothing. You go, you try to force him to be a soldier, then you smoke him because he's not good at it. You stupid bitch. You can't recruit no tough motherfuckers that know how to handle themselves. Can't recruit them, right? Gotta go get them the little humilde ones, the little humble ones. Gotta go get the ones that that can't bust a grape, and you want to teach them how to bust a grape because y'all bitches. The letter read, my love, if one day I come back, I only ask that you remember how much I love you and say, my anger, tantrums, and jealousy are gone. The note was found in a damaged notebook among other personal belongings scattered around the place, and it also had his full name, date of birth, May 2nd, 2003, and the area where he was from. It gets deeper, y'all. Horror in Reynosa, Tamaulipas. Searching mothers discover yet another human extermination site.
No, mommy's wait.
You ask me, these are human sacrifice altars by agents of chaos and evil. These are not just extermination sites. These are places where innocent people, and people say, oh, no, innocence, el que quiere, quiere, el que debe, no teme, el que no debe, no teme. Shut the fuck up. Innocent people snatched up out of the breadline at the store and taken to a place where either we'll figure out if you serve a purpose or not, or you'll be one of our sacrifices at the altar of our chaos and evil. That's what's happening. While authorities are investigating the details of a Tuchitlan ranch used as an extermination camp in Tamaulipas, citizen collectives found charred remains and personal belongings. In Tamaulipas, citizen collectives found charred remains and personal belongings. A new unaliving field has been identified in Reynosa, adding to the list of clandestine sites where violence has left indelible marks. The colectivo Amor por los Desaparecidos, sad that these things have to exist, made up of searching mothers, located at least 14 points with burned human remains in the desolate area between the Colinas del Real and Quinta San Martin neighborhoods. Extermination camp. Edith Gonzalez, president of the collective, reported that the remains found show signs of having been exposed to extreme temperatures, suggesting a deliberate attempt to erase evidence. Rubber, tires, they'll burn forever. Typical when it comes to bodies and shit. During the exploration, accompanied by the National Guard, the State Guard, and the State Search Commission, items were found that belonged to the victims. A buckle decorated with pistols, a rosary, high caliber shell casings, tactical equipment, and bulletproof vests. So far, the Tamaulipas state government spokesperson hasn't issued any statements on the facts. These look like the same pictures they used for... Hold on, man. Let me make sure I'm not tripping. Gotta wake up early in the morning to get one past me. Gotta wake up early in the morning to get one past me, right? Here we go. See, they don't even credit these pictures right here, which is cool because you know you done fucked up. See this picture right here? When we're talking about the Tamaulipas, they got the picture of the Tamaulipas one. Same picture used for the Tuchitlan one. Don't mean nothing, but I'm just saying. Motherfuckers don't care. Pin shows general area where clandestine camp was located between the Colinas de Real, Quin San Martin neighborhoods. So these clandestine spots are going to be popping up everywhere. To me, they're sacrifice altars. That's what I see. They found a school, right? They found a school in Jalisco. So they would snatch up these kids. They would bring these kids to this school. They would see how good they fought or teach them how to fight. And if they were whack, they'd unalive them and put them in a crematorium and get rid of them. And then we saw that they found another one somewhere else. Well, now they're saying at least 7 narco schools have been seized in the valles region of Jalisco. These kids don't even want to be students in them schools. I hope you get that part. These are unwitting participants. They don't want no part of this shit. So you already not a soldier, right? You just a kid buying a loaf of bread, right? You don't know shit about being a soldier, right? But they snatch you up to see if you know anything about being a soldier, right? And then when they find out that you ain't a good soldier in you, they smoke you. What? That's just pure evil. That's what it sounds like to me. Bunch of missing kids and shit. And then you got the guys that'll come in here and defend this shit to me. Be like, Shy, it's not like that. Get the fuck out of here. No mommy's way.
No mommy's way.
At least 7 narco schools have been seized in the Valles region of Jalisco. Organized crime is taking root in the Valles region, where operations to capture regional leaders of organized crime have rarely been carried out, while illicit activity by Jalisco New Generation Cartel continues unabated. At least 10 camps, ranches, and lands have been seized where this group has been detected operating. So how many of those you think had crematoriums on them in the middle of fucking nowhere? What? And how many hundreds of kids don't disappear from these places in these towns over the years? Crazy. This area includes the municipalities of, I'm not saying all these fucking names right now. That's the name of these municipalities. This area includes the municipalities of Ahualulco, De Mercado, Amatitan, Ameca, Cocula, El Arenal, Etzatlan, holy shit, Jostotipaquillo, Magdalena,
English, motherfucker, do you speak it?
San Juanita de Escobedo, San Marcos, San Martín de Hidalgo, Tala, Tequila, Tuchitlan. Currently, the latter municipality is the one at the center of the storm. I almost had a fucking seizure right there, all right? The Izaguirre Ranch is not the first to be seized in Tuchitlan. 3 have been seized there since 2015. The first of these was the Los Amiales Ranch, a 50-hectare property that had been confiscated by criminals in 2013, but which was recovered by the State's Attorney General's office in 2015 during the administration of Eduardo Almaguer Ramirez. At the time, the head of the agency stated that the evidence of murders, I'm not in the zone to say the code words today, had been found inside, including walls with hammer wounds and evidence that at least 9 people had been unalived at the site. Shout out Velez. You hit about 99% of the pronunciation. All right, I'm getting my shit together. Salutes. Shah, you did a great job. Jostotipaquillo is hard as well, I got that motherfucker. Jostotipaquillo. That sounds like some weird, like I feel dirty even saying that shit. You know what I mean? Like it's a indecent proposal. At the time, the site was discovered after the 2 young men from Ahualulco de Mercado, during a search overflight, the 2 were spotted by the agency's helicopter. The bodies of the young men were seen from above. Later, then Prosecutor Eduardo Almaguer announced that a request for forfeiture of assets would be filed. They love that asset forfeiture, boy. Don't be driving an inheritance across country. They get your ass. For its part, the non-governmental organization Mexicans Against Corruption and Impunity released a report in which National Guard members reported the location of a farm with several charred bodies in August 2019. The report indicates that it was on a farm in La Estanzuela. Right? Nailed it. Meanwhile, in 2020, National Guard members also seized another ranch in Ahualulco de Mercado, killed that shit, which had been confiscated by Jalisco New Generation Cartel from a PRI politician. At the time of the seizure, they found bags of rugs. Meanwhile, on September 18, National Guard members located the Izaguirre Ranch, located 57.9 kilometers from the metropolitan zone. That day, 10 people were arrested. 2 others were released. All right, those were rescued people. And a body was found wrapped in wicker. In this case, a Tala police officer is facing charges of missing persons. In a subsequent raid on that property on March 5th of this year by the Guerreros Buscadores de Jalisco collective, hundreds of skeletal remains were found in 6 plots and 4 graves, in addition to more than 400 pieces of clothing and footwear. That was a sad sight to see yesterday, the shit we looked at. When we saw the picture of all of the shoes, and I thought to myself, so many babies, so many kids, so many boys, so many girls, their shoes, and the parents looking through the pictures, trying to identify a shoe is crazy. Meanwhile, on January 30th of this year, the National Guard and the Mexican Army seized another ranch used by criminals operating in the region, which was also used as a training center 36 young people were rescued there. 36. Having been recruited through deception and false job offers. Hey, I need you to come do some plumbing on my rancho. And as soon as you get there, they give you a pipe wrench. It's called an AK-47, all right? And you know who hands it to you? Rocha hands you that shit. Government issue. Recently, another ranch belonging to the United Hearts in Search of Our Treasures Collective was discovered abandoned on a dirt road in Santa Cruz de Astillero in El Arenal. Camps in mountainous areas. On April 10th, 2017, the regional single force located another clandestine camp used by alleged members of organized crime in areas known as Sierra Alta in the mountainous area of the Navajas district in the municipality of Tala. Charred remains, weapons, tactical gear, vehicles, and communication equipment were found there, and a man nicknamed El Baby was arrested. It was a makeshift camp made of tarps and branches. In July of that same year, the state's prosecutor's office seized 5 other makeshift training camps known as schools for hitmen. 19 people were arrested there for missing persons. Alleged regional leaders arrested. Few operations have been carried out in the Valles region by federal authorities. On September 22nd, 2015, Giovanni C., alias El Duende, a suspected cartel leader, was arrested in San Antonio Matute, Ameca. Since then, no operations have resulted in the arrest of any of the area's criminal leaders. Numbers, 33 detained, 7 drug-related school ranches, 10 land and properties seized operated by criminals, all right? They're snatching up kids and training killers there, all right? CJ&G video attempts to distance themselves from the Izaguirre Ranch cremations. In a 4-minute video posted to social media, alleged members of the CJ&G rejected the allegations that the Izaguirre Ranch in Tuchitlan had functioned as a clandestine extermination center, forced recruitment camp, and or crematorium. The video also accused the search groups and media of manipulating the facts surrounding the ranch and activities there. So now we got propaganda back and forth between the news outlets and these cartels. In the message, the alleged spokesperson recalled that federal forces secured the property on September 18, 2024 as a result of a pursuit that ended with the release of 2 prisoners. The property was then protected and analyzed according to them, without finding any clues or evidence of extermination camp, and they're closing the investigation considering everything was closed. That was strange. See, we're in a time where you gotta pick whose lie is better, the criminal's lie or the media's lie. That's where we at in the world. Regarding the most recent discovery made on March 8, 2025, they point out that a group of searching mothers supported by someone and with information of dubious origin completely contradicts the evidence found 6 months earlier by federal agents. So they're blaming it on the searching mothers, that the searching mothers are pointing the finger at them for bullshit. Well, guess what, bro? If y'all could be dishonest and dirty, I think these mothers could play dirty to get what the fuck they want too. If I'm a mother of a child that was lost to this, I'll lie on you. Fine. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. They play cartel games. They're reporting the discovery of an extermination camp, a forced recruitment camp where they held more than 250 snatched people and an equal number of snatchers. What did they find? How much did they find? They found nothing, the armed man shouts. With what authority did the group of search mothers intervene, or on what grounds did they enter a secured property? Oh man, they're mad. CJ&J is scolding the moms. Who let you in that closed down facility? I-49, HG. Yeah, right? Like the mothers got some routes. It's weird for them to say that when they control the area, they control the government and what comes out. I'm not sure the details of how many of those people were missing in the same time frame. I don't know, dog, but they're pointing their finger at the moms right now, like, hey, shut up. How'd you get in there? Seen some guy saying that it wasn't CJ&G that made that video. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's bullshitting. You got to pick whose bullshit lie you believe most. Who's under those hoods? Is it CJ&G? If not, who is it? I don't know. Let's look.
Buenas tardes. Soy miembro activo del Cartel Jalisco Nueva Generación.
Yo, this shit is hilarious. This look like some Saturday Night Live shit. Look, pull out all the big guns. They say it might be the Mexican military. I wouldn't doubt it. You know why, Velez? This video and these guys look like the cops that want to dress like crackheads and walk up to you, on the street talking about, can I get some crack rocks, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what they look like in this shit. Pull out the big fucking rocket launchers. Everybody get your okra mask. No, bro, they would never take a chance, because then they would come out right away and say that wasn't them. The fact that the CJNG hasn't said nothing says everything. So if the military did it, CJNG would come out and say that video is bullshit. You're right.
La razón del video es esclarecer los hechos basados en la realidad, en tiempo y forma. El 18 de septiembre del 2024, aseguran el rancho Izaguirre como resultado de una persecución donde se dan 2 privaciones ilegales de la libertad. Resguardan y analizan el predio sin encontrar indicios o pruebas del caso.
I just think these press conferences are fucking funny. But they're offended, bro. They said that they didn't have no crematoriums. That's not their shit. That the mothers are making it up. Maybe the mothers are. Hit the like button, y'all. Yeah, so these press conferences are funny, but they're defending themselves. It wasn't us. The mothers are lying.
El campo de exterminio. Y dejan la investigación dando todo por terminado. El 8 de marzo del 2025, un grupo de madres buscadoras, respaldadas por no sé quién.
he said a bunch of mothers searching, backed up by I don't know who. It's just pretty hilarious, but we read that already. No need to look at that again. With what authority did the group of search mothers intervene, and on what grounds did they enter secure property? Their duty was to notify the competent authority, and what they did was plant and create a horror film to cause a stir on social media. What are they hiding? Who's backing them? Why are they trying to harm the Jalisco Nueva Generación Cartel with lies and fabricated baseless stories, he asserts. The spokesperson acknowledged that they do belong to organized crime, but emphasized that they abide by internal codes. He affirmed that they are also fathers, sons, brothers, and husbands, and that they understand the pain of the families of missing persons. However, he considered that this is not an appropriate way to address the situation or to distort reality. They have the right to do what they want if they feel like you took their family. Again, like HG said, they on some eye for an eye shit. You lie, I lie. Crematoriums. Referring to the security situation in the region, he maintained that Jalisco is calm, with no snatchings or homicides in rural communities, and questioned whether the government is trying to create a scenario like that in Sinaloa, where he says social peace has been broken and many people have had to immigrate to live in safe conditions. That finding doesn't make the government or cartel look right, trying to cause disruption and create a bad look on the mothers looking for the missing. Yeah, that's what they doing, dog. That's what they doing. These moms are lying, bro. He also expressed an apology for displaying weapons in the video and asserted that it was not intended to intimidate, what is there for, but rather to refute the false testimonies that, according to him, have been spread against the cartel led by Nemesio Izaguirre Cervantes El Mencho. What? How does that even make sense? How's that a thing? Regarding the allegations of forced recruitment, he ironically discussed the logic behind such claims and asked if he and his companions were considered kidnapped, arguing that no one would hand a weapon to someone deprived of their liberty. I believe that they try to keep the code, but they break it whenever they want, and those are just examples. I'm going to tell you why they're doing that, because they see Donald Trump is not playing. Why they're refuting and saying the mothers are lying, because they see Trump ain't playing. They don't want to be on that plane. So they're saying they're only carrying hammers in their video just so that people know that they're not snatched up being forced to say something. That anybody being forced to say something wouldn't be handed a hammer. He concluded his message by asserting his continued involvement in the criminal group out of conviction, and asserted that as a society, we have lost our values and principles. We are organized crime, he said, but you seek to cause astonishment and panic with something that happens every day. He asserted that they serve the people and remain with them. Stop, bro.
No, mommy's wait.
That is a bunch of horse shit if I've ever heard it, man. Journalists, which were being called out for amplifying and manipulating facts, responded to the video, calling it an attempt to discredit the mothers who are searching, a threat to the mothers who are searching, and a confirmation of the rug piece in Jalisco. There are all kinds of interpretations of this very strange CJNG video about Tuchiclan, journalist Oscar Valderas said on social media. The search group maintains that the ranch was allegedly used by a criminal group as a forced recruitment center where young people recruited through deception were forced to train and in some cases unalived. According to witness accounts, the disappearances were linked to false job offers and forced recruitment. The empty land plot in 2011. Land taken by force in 2012. One of the possible reasons the ranch is just now being exposed and searched after the raid on the camp last year is that it just recently showed up in a land registry paperwork in the beginning of 2025. According to the previous and last registered owner of the land, it was taken from his family by force over a decade ago and largely forgotten about until the local government reached him to pay property taxes. They called Buddy to pay property taxes on the land that got snatched from him that was being used as a training camp for Bartel. It's crazy. In news interviews, Don Genaro Ramirez is the name given to the former owner of the plot to protect his identity. In 2012, a pair of men arrived at the home of Don Genaro where he, his wife, and his daughter were. The CJNG threatened to harm the owner's daughter if he didn't sell the plot of land where the extermination camp would later be located. According to the story widely known by the residents of La Estanzuela de Tuchiclan, one of the men took the young woman and warned that if they did not do business with them, they would harm her. Don Genaro says that the men who spoke with him were not armed, but there was no need to be, judging by the manner and authority with which they spoke to him, said one of the locals. Ranch registered in 2025. Let me see something. Journalist Esteban David Rodriguez points out that it was not until this year, that Don Genaro and his family were contacted about the property because the city council required the payment of the property tax for the plot. This meant one thing: the ranch had passed to the status of full ownership. In other words, it became private property. The property appeared registered as private property in the Tuchiclan Municipal Land Registry with no information about who completed the paperwork, residents say. Although someone had to have registered it in the Land Registry of Tuchiclan City Council, it was not Don Genaro or any members of his family. The journalist points out that for this procedure to be carried out, approval must be obtained from the Communal Land Assembly. A formal application must be submitted to the Secretariat of Agrarian, Territorial, and Urban Development in the National Agrarian Registry. Shineball's action against missing persons. Following the Tuchiclan camp news in Jalisco, President Claudia Sheinbaum outlined 6 reform initiatives, including strengthening the National Search Commission, equating the crime of disappearance with kidnapping, creating a single database of forensic information, incorporating immediate investigative searches without 72-hour waiting period. Too many people go missing in Mexico for them to pretend that they're doing anything. Equating the crime with disappearance, you have to assume with a disappearance that there's a snatching at this point. Creating a single database, do something. Between October 2023 and March 2025, collectors have reported at least 6 similar sites in Jalisco, allegedly used by criminal groups in recruitment and elimination purposes. Find these places, these active places, and shut this shit the down. Jalisco is the state with the most missing persons, 14,963 out of a national total of 124,059, according to official figures. Nationally, more than 72,000 bodies remain unidentified in forensic services. In 2023, Jalisco State reported 137,100 crimes with only 798 prosecutors investigating them. Rest in peace.